What? Why? In the mirror, it doesn't, my dark circles do not look like this. They don't look this bad. But for some reason, Miss Sony A6000 wants to put me on blast. This is so disrespectful. I'm gonna have to come back. Listen, I don't want to look like the corpse bride, so I'm gonna have to come right back and we'll continue with this video. Okay, much better, because I'm just not, as much as I want to be the no makeup girly, my dark circles say otherwise. So here we are, looking cute. Hey y'all, hello beautiful. What's poppin', beautiful? How you doing, babes? Today I'm gonna start this little series called Chai and Chit Chat, or Chit Chat and Chai. Haven't figured it out yet, but I just wanted to chat about shit that happens in life, honestly. And we have my little mug. I was bred to be a narcissist, because the way that I didn't buy this for myself. My family got it for my our Christmas, not even a birthday or a graduation. 2007 Christmas. So anytime I care about myself and want to trample over others, it's not my fault. It's literally, I was bred to be this way. So grab your chai or water or juice, whatever, and let's talk. Let's talk about suffering, which is honestly so ghetto. I absolutely hate the idea that humans have to go through challenges. I hate the idea that some people have more challenges than other intense challenges that keep going on for years and years, versus I mean, I know life is not fair, but suffering is one of the most ghetto things of this world. And let me start out by saying I do not have the answers as to why we suffer. I'm not an all-knowing being with celestial powers that transcend space and time. I'm not Beyonce. For that reason, I don't know. No one knows why. First of all, why we're on this earth. Second, why we have to suffer. But as we are suffering, because I am going through a prolonged period of just challenges on challenges on challenges. And I'm struggling to find, why aren't you focused on me? Focus on, to the left, there we go. I am struggling to find the end of the light. The light at the end of the tunnel. And so all I can do is talk with you guys about what has helped me get through these things, or what helps me maintain a positive attitude. Don't get me wrong, I'm not always smiley. I'm sometimes not fun to be around. Actually, I'm always fun to be around. The problem is that I isolate myself, so you never get to see the worst parts of me. And what I'm trying to do, even in front of y'all, is, y'all, why did my voice crack? In front of y'all is, I want to show you that I'm not always cheery. Honestly, goal of mine, 2023 goal of mine, is to be able to cry on camera. And not in an acting way, but actually feel so moved by something that to me, the highest level of vulnerability is if I cry in front. Actually, no, that's also cap, because I literally cried to the ending of The Lion King in front of people. But I think I want to just be able to be vulnerable with people outside of because I'm okay being vulnerable, but it's tough when I haven't figured my shit out yet. I can tell you the details of my life once I've gotten past them, but to go through the to get into the weeds of it with other people is not fun, because I'm also just not my best self when I'm going through those things. Not that I lash out. I definitely can be petty. Don't put it past me. But not that I lash out or anything like that. I just I'm rambling, so let's go ahead and reel it in. So what I can talk about today is the benefits of trudging through the challenges and trudging through The suffering. First, something that I've noticed is I gain so much personal growth and development from just building the muscle of getting through shit. And for me, somebody came to join us. his little tail. Sir, that chai is not for you. Say hi, Theo. Oh, no. Say hi. This is the face of someone who's never suffered a day in his life, because I got him when he was a baby and he's just been spoiled ever since. But the personal growth and development, and take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I don't have the answers. I also don't think that, I still don't think that life is a gift and oh my god, I love the smell of flowers. I'm not that kind of person. Hey, I am jealous of people who are like that, who are able to be overly happy. My BPD and ADHD won't allow me to be that way. But I think the growth that comes from getting through challenges just makes you stronger, because once you've done and dealt with the shit, it's difficult for you to regress. You can regress for sure, but it's harder because you have now the cold hard experience of going through something and knowing how to get yourself out of it. Second is, as you go through struggles and continue, like I said, to build that muscle, you start to get stronger, and then you start looking in the mirror and you see the muscles. You're like, wait a minute, I'm sort of thick. And you start to build self-confidence, which is something I'm also going through. I really fully believe that I know I will have some low lows that are coming ahead, which is just dreadful. But I also know that I trust that I will go through it, but bounce back. And people who are able to bounce back quickly, teach me your ways. If you're one of those people, comment, say something, because I am not sure how to bounce back quickly. I let myself feel things. I love to be sad almost, where I just feel it, and then maybe sprinkle a little self-pity, and then it's just a recipe for a disaster. But I do love the fact that once I do get through a challenge, I become there's this level of confidence that you just can't. You cannot say anything to me once I have got through something. Third is that you now have an expanded comfort zone. So say you thought you wouldn't be able to handle something. For example, I am considering quitting my job. That's uncharted wild west territory, and the reason is because first, I'm absolutely miserable working, just me personally, and second is I'm 25 and I've not built the skills I need to chase my dreams, I'm not taking any steps forward in doing what actually brings me pure joy. And since we all only have one life to live, it's one of the saddest things to me when people are unable to pursue their dreams. And I will say I'm extremely privileged because I have a roof over my head. I know my meals are coming to me. I have a savings. I am in a great space to do this, but I know that is not the case for everyone. So I don't want to glamorize quitting your job and chasing your dreams either. Not everyone is in that position. Some people support their families financially, or just the luxury of saving isn't true for someone who has a lot of student loans, So I do want to acknowledge that. But yeah, you do start to expand your purview. You start to this is what life seems, then you start to go, ooh, I can do more. And to people who are the people who have that nagging in them, when they know it's not the life that they are now living is not what they want to continue for themselves, I encourage you to do something, one little thing every day that brings you joy. And that's a whole other thing of figuring out what brings you joy, and you can only do that by doing. Or you can only figure that out by doing. But I encourage you to really step out and try new things. And then once you find that one thing, be consistent with it, and you'll see it grow. And then you'll maybe get to a point where I am, where you're oh my god, I really love doing this and I really hate doing my regular job. maybe I can like take a leap of faith and go for it. Because one thing I'm learning is people who make it in this world, it's not because they're better than you or smarter than you or faster than you. It's just because they've been at the shit for a long time. So yeah, I'd encourage you to think about that if it's something on your mind. Also, suffering forces you to be creative. I have had to be so resourceful. Let's give an example. So I was suffering in college when it came to, like, I was a great student, high school, all A's, you know, the annoying kids, IB diploma, whatever. And I got to college, I failed chemistry twice. That was a huge point of suffering for me because I had never been so academically, not even subpar, like bad. And I like went through deep depression because I was like, what the fuck? I'm not smart. Like, I am not smart. I had to start getting creative. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, if I'm not smart, how do I get good grades? Mind you, even though I could have been as creative as I wanted to be, I still failed chemistry twice. But what I did is I ended up taking it at a community college nearby. Because I was like, shoot, if this isn't gonna work. Virginia Tech has something, they have a vendetta against me. Just kidding, they don't. Love you, Tech. Send me money. The way that I like truly was like, I will not be able to succeed in these Virginia Tech engineering courses. I was like, all right, so if that's not the move, why don't I just take it somewhere else? So I paid for it. I paid to go to a community college. And I remember I used to take the bus to the nearest community college in between classes, take the class and come back. So it forced me to get creative, but it's not gonna always work out. Like, things are not always gonna work out how you think they're gonna work out, because I was really hell-bent on getting my credits from Virginia Tech, and I'm not engineering minded. It's funny, I did 5 years of engineering, but I knew I wasn't going to be an engineer. I just did it because make mommy and daddy proud. That's about it. And also the prestige. Prestige is such a scary, tricky thing, because when you look good to others, you start to feel good, but then that stuff wears off really quickly. I'm going to tell you this right now, because I was out here living in Chicago in like a high-rise building on a main street in front of a park, in front of the lake, and I was at my lowest point in life. Prestige doesn't mean, especially to my children of immigrant parents, because I know that stuff is just threaded into our minds, but prestige don't really mean anything at a point. And I know a lot of people at our age, like 20-year-olds, are like realizing that not caring about what people think is the move, and that's why you see so many people who are taking non-traditional paths, like leaving school and traveling, or like not leaving school, but quitting their jobs, traveling the world, being influencers, pursuing creative avenues. Like, you see much more of that than I think you would have seen 20 years from now, which is nice. It forces you to be creative. 5th point. I'm not even sure if I'm on track here, but bear with me. Grit. It builds grit, which is my 5th point. There is no favorite word I have more than the word grit. It's sort of nice because it's like gritty, or it's like taps into like your darkness a little bit, and it's like very heads down, no nonsense. Building grit is one of the most important things that I've had to learn as a Pisces and young child. I have always been very whimsical, very imaginative, very like, oh woo, I want to have responsibilities. But as I've gotten older and I've had to be an adult, that shit is the worst. But it's a very necessary part of life, of understanding that you can no longer be a kid and you have to start being an adult and grow up. And grit has played a major role in that for me, because it forces me to be very focused and build longevity versus like dropping things because I'm bored or dropping things because they hurt. That has been the biggest lesson of my 23 to 25 time period. Because nobody wants to do work. Like, nobody wants to do things they don't care about, you know? Ew. Like, ew. And I don't like people who are like, and you gotta wake up in the morning. Grit looks different for everybody. Like, if you don't like to wake up early in the morning, then find a morning routine for you that starts at 11. Like, there's no formula. Like, people who think that there's a formula for life or success are tripping. There really isn't. It's so individualized, and when you try to fit yourself into a box that worked for someone else, it's just, you're gonna drive yourself insane. And my 6th point is, I don't want to necessarily have, oh, this is not a point, by the way, but I don't want to have, like, let me know in the comments if you like the, like, bulleted point way of talking. I just have to do that because if I don't, I will go on a million tangents and the video will be like, oh, you know, how to deal with depression. And then the end of the video will be like, and that's why unicorns exist. Like, it'll be so off topic. So I have to do that bulleted point list, and I know I'll get into tangents as you've already seen throughout the video. But if you'd prefer a more freestyle, free-flowing, what's poppin' vibe, let me know and I'll do it. I'll do it, but listen, it's gonna be straight up chaos, and I'm not sure. Are you ready for that? Okay. Listen, I am here for you. But my 6th point is, once you understand and start to accept that life has suffering, unless you're a millionaire, multimillionaire, billionaire, but they be suffering too. Freaking Jeff Bezos was in a divorce, and I'm sure homeboy was not smiling through that. So what it does is it opens doors to opportunities for you. Because you now have an expanded comfort zone, your vision has now been expanded. Because of that, you start to find new opportunities. You're like, oh, and this and that. For example, at work, I was struggling in the department that I was hired into. And people around me, leaders in the firm, saw that I wasn't succeeding. And they were like, hey, maybe we should send her over somewhere that she could do better work, because that's also better for us, you know, as our little minion. We should get her to do something else. If I had quit before I got that opportunity, I would have never known what it could have looked like on the other side. And plot twist, I actually didn't like both of those roles, and that's why I'm tired. At least I got the opportunity to try something new and say, oh, this just isn't for me, you know? I try to sprinkle examples in there because I feel like it's really hard to talk in fugazi and like imaginary. It's really hard to talk fugazi and be imaginative if there are no real life examples. I realized I was talking so much that I only took a sip in the beginning of the video. Cheers! Actually, that's actually like low-key a cute outro. This is embarrassing. At this point, my ego is just like in a black hole somewhere because I just drank and then almost spit it out. Cheers! Okay, wait. It was nice chatting with y'all. I'll be posting these every day, so can't wait to see you tomorrow. Love ya. Cheers!